Welcome back to the Easy Breezy Boss Life. Today's topic, let's just say, you might want to listen to first before you fire off that passive aggressive Slack message, okay? Because we are talking about what to do when your team is driving you absolutely bananas. You know what I'm talking about. The missed deadlines, the half baked ideas, the did they even read the message I sent last week type of vibes. And before you know it, you're fantasizing about running off to a remote island where no one asks you to review another Trello or ClickUp task ever again. My friend, I have been there. So take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Here's what I want to offer you. This frustration, it's not a sign that you're a bad leader. It is a sign, however, that something is broken and you actually have the power to fix it, but not with blame and not with micromanaging, and definitely not with a rage-fueled team meeting that ends in awkward silence. Because we are going to walk through this like the boss that you are, with honesty, with strategy, and maybe with a little side eye to our past selves who totally thought they could run a team without clear systems. So let's dive in on the steps to follow, what to do when your team is making you mad. Here is your first truth bomb. You cannot expect your team to operate at a high standard if you aren't operating at a high standard as their leader. Yes, I know it stings. But if you stick with me, I promise this will help you find real solutions instead of just simmering in silent rage. So here's your step one, emotional dumping. You're mad. Good. Let's write that down. You can grab a notebook or open up a Google document or voice note yourself if that's your thing. The point is, let it all out. Why did they miss the deadlines? Why do their ideas stink? And why are they waiting for me to spoon feed everything? Why can't they just read my mind already? Kidding. Sort of. But this is not the time to be polite. This is the purge. It is raw, it is messy, it is necessary. The point is, you need to get your rage out, okay? Then you can step away from the emotion. You can step away from the rage. Because here comes step two. You put on your CEO pants. Now that you've gotten it all out, it's time to boss up. Look at that messy list like a leader and ask yourself, can I actually fix this? Can someone on my team fix it? Did I explain this clearly enough? Did I train them well enough to handle an issue like this? Did I even give them the right tools to succeed? Now, this is not about blaming yourself either, okay? This is about clarity. And just in case you missed it earlier, here's the truth bomb again. You cannot expect your team to rise up if you're leading from a place of confusion, chaos, or even silence. Because if your team is not performing, it's time to check the mirror. Did you build the systems that could prevent issues like this? Or are you just yelling into the void, hoping that your team would just get it? Which brings us to step three, own your part. Owning your part is being real. Because let's be real, you are not perfect. I mean, no one is. And neither is your team. No one in your team is perfect either. And this isn't about shame. It is about taking responsibility. I want to be really clear. You, as the leader, you're allowed to be frustrated. But staying in that frustration, that's not what we're going to do here. That's not the easy, breezy boss life. Because every problem that rises up, it's a flashlight. It shows you where your systems need strengthening. It also shows where your leadership needs leveling up and where your delegation needs work. So let's break down a real example. Let's say, for example, your team missed a deadline. The old you would have reacted, how? I even use emojis to emphasize how important it was. But the CEO you would ask instead, did I explain the why behind the deadline? Did I check in before it was too late? And was the timeline that I gave to the team even realistic? Those are the questions a CEO would ask. Because when you have the answers to those questions, it will tell you whether or not it was a communication failure, which is great because you know now what to fix. If it was a resource issue, then you can assign someone to own that area next time, right? Which brings me back to my point. The goal isn't looking for someone to blame. The goal is to become a better leader for your team. Step 4, building a self-sufficient team. Now, before we move on, here's a fun fact. When you click the subscribe button, it makes a funny sound. Give it a try. I dare ya. Okay, moving on. Here is your golden CEO standard. You should not be the fixer. Do not be the fixer. Don't dive in there and save the day. Do not be the fixer. You should be the builder of people or systems that fixes issues. Because again, you are not a babysitter. You are a business owner. You are a CEO. So when things go wrong, your go-to action should not be, oh, let me dive in there and fix this. Your go-to action should be asking yourself, how can I prevent this from happening again? And who can own this moving forward? What systems or tools are missing so that this does not happen again? And here's the magic question that I just love to ask. Is there an SOP or a standard operating procedure that needs to be made to prevent issues like these? Because when you find out the answers to those questions, you can proceed to step 5, which is learning, adjusting, and repeating. I think you already know by now that even though the title of my podcast is the Easy Breezy Boss Life, we all know that leadership is messy. It can be. It's not a one and done type of work. It is a series of tiny tweaks over time until you have a fully functioning system. Because each time you feel frustration, consider it feedback. That's feedback. That's telling you that there's something wrong in the system and it can be fixed. And when you actually do the work to address those issues, you will have fewer fires to put out. That means fewer team headaches, more breathing room, more easy breezy boss life. So before I let you go, I want to make it really clear that it is okay to get mad. You can be angry, okay? When things happen that frustrate you, you are allowed. Getting angry is a valid feeling. That just means that you care about your business. That's all. But don't stop at being mad. Don't stop at anger. Don't let that be the last emotion that you feel before making a decision. Because at that point, when you are mad, you can shift to a different vibe. You can instead get curious. You can get clear. You can get systems. You can get support. Because when you raise your leadership standard, your team will also rise to meet that standard. Otherwise, maybe they're not the right team for you. So go out there and take action. I will see you next time here at the Easy Breezy Boss Life podcast. Or if you want to stay and hang around, you can watch more of our videos like the one that's hovering over here. See you there.